Candida is a very complex organism. First, it's a yeast organism. And so when we have an overgrowth of yeast, it's going to produce a lot of neurotoxins. It's going to produce monogens and gliotoxins, aldehydes, and all these things become very detrimental to your health. And so when we have an overgrowth of yeast, it's going to slam our immune system into oblivion. This is why it becomes almost enemy number one. But we also have to understand we just can't come in and blitzkrieg the Candida or the yeast organism with nutraceuticals, kill agents, or even anti-fungals prescribed or over the counter. You just can't come in there and blitzkrieg them. You have to really start to establish a normal gut flora. And that takes time. That means we have to start building up the mineral reserves. We have to start getting clearer pathways in the liver. We have to get biliary patency. We have to get more gut motility to start flushing out these microorganisms. Because these microorganisms, they're higher intelligent organisms. Remember, yeast have been around for billions of years. Yeast can survive in space. Yeast can survive in nuclear reactors. Yeast can survive in the Arctic. You know, they can survive in the most hostile environments, and we think we can come in and just kill them. Think again. If we don't deal with the heavy metals, you have to get the metals to be released from the body, because the metals are, like mercury is an antimicrobial. That's why since the 1400s, if you got diagnosed with syphilis, all the doctors from the 1400s on were prescribing mercury to combat the syphilis spirochete, which is very similar to the Lyme spirochete. And so the syphilis spirochete is a microbial infection. It's a bacterial infection. And so we know that mercury is antimicrobial. It would kill the spirochete, but it would also end up killing you. In fact, that's how Mozart died. He contacted syphilis in his 30s, and as a result of that, he was prescribed mercury, and it was the mercury that killed his syphilis but also killed him. So that's like, you know, today it's chemotherapy. Chemotherapy kills the cancer but ends up killing you. So when we're attacking these microorganisms, especially the yeast, we have to see how we've been kind of like inundated with all these antibiotics. And the antibiotics, not just the ones your doctor gave you, but the ones in the food, the ones in the environment, the xenobiotics just floating around in everyday life. We have all these xenobiotics in us that are destroying our gut flora, which are causing a colonization of the yeast microorganisms. The yeast microorganisms are coming in to do a job. They're coming in to clean up the bacteria and to clean up things, but then the yeast start to colonize and establish higher colonizations, and then the yeast can switch from a unicellular to a multicellular. That's when it becomes pathological. When the yeast become pathological, they love to live in warm, moist environments. Warm, moist environments are sinuses, our eyes, nasal cavities, air canals. Love the mouth, love the lungs, love the digestive tract, love the vaginal canal. And this is why we see when a woman gets a bacterial infection, the doctor puts her on an antibiotic, the urinary tract infection goes away, we pat ourselves on the back, killed the bacteria, cleaned up the urinary tract infection, but then we have a colonization of the yeast coming in to clean up all the dead microbes, and then the yeast colonize, and now we have a lifetime problem of a yeast overgrowth, which can become really one of the most critical health conditions in our country today, because that yeast, like I said, produces at least 90 known neurotoxins to the body. And it's these neurotoxins that accumulate over time that will weaken the immune system. Like I said, it really knocks your immune system into oblivion. So we do have to deal with these yeast organisms because they are higher organisms. They can mimic estrogen, they can mimic cortisol because they have chromosomes, so they're very intelligent. They know how to survive. So we have to create a better gut ecology. We have to have understand how the heavy metals are keeping the yeast in check. We have to understand about the biofilms. We have to understand about, the minerals in dealing and combating a yeast overgrowth, because it really is one of the worst enemies that we have in this country today. So it is a major problem. It is a very sophisticated, shape-shifting, mutating, pleomorphic organism that knows how to survive and thrive. So we have to up our game to understand who we're dealing with. So again, just instead of blitzkrieging it to death, we have to know who our enemy is, and then we have to change our gut microbiome so we can start to establish more healthier bacteria, so the yeast won't want to live there. They'll go on their own volition. But we got to deal with the metals, we got to deal with the gut, we got to deal with many factors to understand this microorganism yeast / Candida.